We will have to come back to that song by the Black Mages, I think, later in this particular tournament. But it is time for the next matchup in Red versus Grubby.
Indeed it is, and Grubby decides to choose Terminus SE, the version with the rocks on the third, no entrance to the third, which is a very nice Protoss map because it does enable that very fast third base to be taken at, say, even 8 minutes in the game compared to the usual 13, 14 and so on. And this is obviously not as good for Rhett because he can't take that fast third as we've seen so many times in this series. So good choice here by Grubby, and this may be his ace to come back into the series and then play on the final map, which I'm not even sure it is, actually. I've kind of lost track of the maps. Metalopolis, I think. Unless Grubby vetoed it. I can't remember.
I don't think he vetoed it. Which one did he veto?
Not sure. Let me ask real fast, because I'm actually really interested in that.
Yeah, we obviously
What's the last map?
It's always nice to admin your own tournament, isn't it? It's wonderful. That's why you never want to do it again. Oh, well, never mind.
Yeah, so, Securus, actually. So Grubby vetoed Metal, so it's Securus. Okay.
All right, fair enough.
All right, then. So, are we good to go?
I think we are. I think we are.
That's a pretty good last map for Grubby, too.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially is a very nice map. And we saw some gimmicky play earlier as well.
Also, apparently Grubby's been playing Terran this entire time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been fixed.
Oh, well. Guess he's good at both races. All right, we just...
I don't know about that.
Everything's ready. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
So, Grubby versus Red on Terminus. Last map, if needed, will be Shakur's Plateau. Both maps are actually not so bad for Grubby, especially this big, large Terminus here with an easy third base and denied third base for Red. So, good map here for Grubby to turn this around and maybe go the full distance.
He very well could. We shall see. One of these slower-paced matchups. Unfortunately for some people, not so unfortunately for others, it does lead to some rather high-tech games, and here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you Liquid Red. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the east of the Terminus versus opponent in the close-by air position right there. It is Grubby, close by and close by ground, I suppose. He is in the green trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the south. I
would love to see something crazy from Red, like roach drops really early on.
Oh, yeah,
like
definitely.
2-base roach drops, something like that, some kind of all-in. Because I think that would exploit the way this map should naturally be played out from Protoss. I think it'd be very good from Ret, but I don't think Ret's going to do anything like that, to be honest. I'm interested to see what he'll do, not having the easy third base here. The destructible debris is in the way.
Yep.
So he kind of has to. He won't take a third base anywhere else, I don't think. So I guess he's going to have to build Lings early on and get that down a lot faster than usual, which is obviously going to help Grubby definitely going into the mid-game.
Yeah, there's also potential for Mutalisk play on this map. We've seen quite a lot of that against Protoss, mass muter, and Red has been known to do that. He's a big fan of his muters, but the dropping is certainly a point to make, especially when you spawn in these positions, that whoever's got this space, which is this expansion area here, just close to the opponent, is most likely going to be vulnerable to drop play. More often than not, when a Terran spawns in this position and his opponent spawns down here, it becomes a nightmare scenario for him in order to try and defend that third against consistent drops. It's of course not impossible for a Zerg player to exploit that with either muter, because there's this massive void area here that you can actually escape into without a problem, and then exploit that and hop down to the natural back and forth. And look at the size of this. It's so easy to pull back out of range of anything. So it could be stressful for Grubby, but we'll see how Ret decides to play it out. I don't think Ret's really going to want to go for a big prolonged game on this map. He knows how it tends to flow.
And hatch first, man. Will Grubby decide to do anything against it, or just Nexus up? He could. Well, he can't do anything on the ramp like we saw against Stefano because of the neutral supply depot. But he could decide to do something down there, and already we see Ret pulling 2 drones to actually prevent Grubby doing anything. And Grubby's already got the Nexus en route, so nothing's gonna work here. But already, just by going hatch first, he's pulled 3 drones already because he's not knowing what exactly is going on. And now he's seen that the Nexus has gone down. He can send these drones back to working as their job is no longer needed.
Yep, but he's going to have a bit of spiteful fisticuffs in the center as the Automaton 2000 looks on in horror, and Ret will have to chase this probe down, because that's the problem with Protoss, isn't it? They just dump a building and leave.
Yeah, Grubby's going to turn around and take a fight there again with that drone.
Yeah,
as his shields are regenerated.
Yeah. I hate probes. The Protoss is the one race I refuse to play, and I hate probes. More so than any other Protoss unit. Evil bastards.
Wait until you fight carriers.
But you never fight carriers. I have actually lost to mass carrier on ladder, but I was being a bit dumb, so it's mostly my fault.
What do we see now? So, I wonder if he's going to Never mind. I was wondering if he's going to build a Zealot straight away. We'll have to find. Maybe no. Okay, so he did have the gateway waypointed to the back, which is why I was questioning if he's just going to go and not build one. But he does build a Zealot, so he will be poking out a Zealot shortly to find out whether that third base does get taken. And Rhett's actually... I like what Rhett's doing here. He's using 4 Lings, the initial 4 Lings, to not even scout, not take the Xel'Naga towers, nothing. Just kill the rocks earlier, instead of building additional Lings, so he can continue to drone as much as possible.
And even then, he sends out that one to find more scouts and interceptor. He still scouts, but he's walking a very fine razor edge line here. Now, Grubby's going to get some information that his opponent is knocking these rocks down with great pace, but that doesn't really tell him anything. It's obvious that Rhett's going to try and take a third at some point, and it's most likely going to be sooner rather than later. What the?
Don't know.
Okay. Did he do anything? Did he lose something? I don't know. I don't know what he's laughing at, actually.
No idea.
Nope. I am intrigued, I have to say. I'm very much intrigued.
Maybe just that Zealot killing the Ling, maybe? I don't know.
Wow. The Zealot killing a Ling isn't exactly a big surprise. No, it's not that amusing.
Brett's sense of humor.
Yeah, Dutch humor, man. How does it work?
Oh, wow. He gets 2 drone kills, though.
Yeah,
and that was
good.
Lucky, actually, that drone lived.
Yeah.
It regenerated just on the last second.
Yeah,
so.
it could have potentially gone down. That would have been a great trade, 3 drones. I mean, it was good enough trade to begin with, getting into the mineral line there. Also, forcing mining time once again.
And we do have a Stargate with a Void Ray. Or no, Phoenix, actually. That's interesting. I wonder if he's just going to go and use a single Phoenix to scout, maybe, or will he just build more from here? If he is going to dedicate, he needs to go to 3, potentially 4 Phoenixes, but doesn't want to build too many, as Rhett now is at layer. He almost, well, actually, no, the Evolution Chamber is just the second gone down, and early infestation
Very early,
pit. Yeah, that's to deal with the air, basically. He's going to be using Queens and Fungal to deal with this air if it goes past a couple more than just a Phoenix or 2.
Yeah, I have to wonder what Grubby will do if he spots that, and there you go. He now sees the Evolution Chamber and the Infestation Pit, and will he stop? Well, he's actually stopped building Phoenixes, so it looks like he has no interest in that. In the meantime, we've got this going on, which has been repulsed quite nicely there by Grubby. A good force field going down in front. That lane can't even move. It's
He's going to go in again, man.
Yeah.
He's going to go in again. And that's why Grubby has to wall off, because there's only 1 force field there and only a single cannon. So nice decision to wall off, and really good here by Grubby. Actually grabs the drone that tried to build the hatchery, picks it up, and then forces it down. And because of that, extra drones were made, and also an Overlord. And that was like, oh wait, I thought I waited.
Oh,
what?
yeah.
So it's like
that's actually
you think
up his build order.
Yeah, you think you've saved that money to build the hatch, but then you do something else. It's like wait, well, oh no. It got picked up. So very good play there by Grubby, and he has to go Robotics Facility into Colossus here. You can't really play against Infestor without that 9 range Colossus, so he can take a 3rd base shortly, I guess, and then continue from here on out. He is getting the +1 and so on.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're seeing really an Infestor there. We saw early Burrow as well, so Infestor harassment will be going on one way or the other. No Ventral Sacks or anything yet, as we did hope for that, but we haven't seen anything of the sort just yet.
Killing a couple of Overlords and drones in the main base. Gets 2 drones and Overlords. Not too bad for these Phoenixes. He's got 4 out now, which is a decent amount. Doubt he'll want to build any more than that. Just trying to pick off a few Overlords here and there, and it's good. Now he's working towards that 3rd base, and 1 Immortal is being built. I wonder if he'll stay, how long he'll stay on Robotics Facility.
It's a good question. Runs into a bunch of Spore Crawlers right there, but keeps all of his Phoenixes alive without too much of a problem. Infestors now on their way out. The Pathogen Glands upgrade has been completed, so they are immediately ready to fungal, and this is the time when you don't want your Phoenixes anywhere near the Zerg.
That's a bit unfortunate for Grubby. Overlord there on the natural sees the Robotics Bay, and that really should have been cleaned up by Grubby with these Phoenixes. So it's a little bit unfortunate to kind of play the hand and kind of heads
show
up.
it, yeah, show your hand immediately, which it's definitely not deliberate by him. So that's a bit of a problem.
Poker's pretty boring if you play cards showing.
Yeah, I can only imagine that it would be, which is why it's not a particularly common variant. So a quick grab and eliminates the scouting Zergling on the Xel'Naga Watchtower right there, just keeping an eye on that 4th, trying to keep away from the Infestors as well, but the active scouting of Rhett continues to be a thorn in Grubby's side.
And now he's going to go chase down that Overlord, but may actually get... Can Rhett time this well? I don't even know if he wants to, but he may just pop out with Fungal Growth right now.
Oh, and no, he can't do it. That's unfortunate. He was very close.
What we could see now, though, is a lot of Infested Terrans and Lings knocking on this front door, or if, oh my god, these Sentries and Zealots are moving out, he can just Fungal Growth them.
Yeah, or alternatively, he can do that. That's a huge amount of infested Terrans, and there's no way that Grubby will be able to stand up against that. Good God, look at that. Look at how dangerous that is. And one Infestor grabbed in, but the Infested Terran's now moving below the Phoenix, is now smashing his way through the wall off with those Infested Terrans as quickly as he can.
That was really good to trade. That was really good to trade.
Yeah, he barely lost anything. Kills a cannon as well. These Infested Terrans are about to kill themselves, but still, that was not too shabby at all.
I always forget that Infested Terrans can create a wall with their eggs, so you can't run back or do anything there. And that was a really, really good trade for Rhett. Meanwhile, Rhett has, got a Spire and is also working on +1. I wonder if he is going to go Mutas here. Mutas are, very good on this map, especially once you've got a 4th base, and the gas is there as well. And there we see them.
Yep, here we go. And a quick, once again, hop around to do yet more Overlord harassment. It's good that he's cleaning these up because Rhett has had all sorts of information as a result of those Overlords up to this point. So actively denying the active scouting of Rhett is fairly important. The problem is that there's a 4th up here. And the Spore Crawler coming in. A few more Overlords going to be picked off here and there. That will supply block Rhett momentarily. Not something that's going to cause him too much of a problem. You might even want to consider actually grabbing himself the Ventral Sacs upgrade. Not Ventral Sacs, sorry, the pneumaticized carapace, which is one of the harder upgrades in the game to actually pronounce properly, just so they can get away from this. And these Phoenixes just refuse to die.
Yeah, that's one way to get rid of supply block. Oh no!
These Phoenixes refuse to die. They're dead. Never mind. It looks like I would not make a lot of money as a fortune teller.
And all of a sudden, Rhett's at 200 supply capability. That's really, really good. One way to get unsupplied block, guys, build 10 Overlords in a row.
That's what you do as Zerg, man.
And now these mutas are going to be a pain because Grubby just doesn't have the tech necessary to deal with this. He's at Colossus. Rhett's got good Muta Micro. Doesn't even lose 1.
Yeah, having no blink is certainly a pain. We've got gravitic boosters coming up, which is actually for observers, if I recall correctly, as opposed to gravitic drive. Why the hell would they call them so similar? I have to wonder. A 5th base has been taken by Rhett up to the top here, and Grubby's just stuck on 3 and is having to play extremely defensively.
Yeah, and Rhett really using the strength of mutas, which is the harassment and also the map control given, which means he can take easy bases around the map without Grubby being able to do anything. And here comes the harassment. Cannons going down and probes as well because of the splash damage. And Rhett is playing very, very strong right now. And Grubby has to get blink. He has to start thinking about a Templar Archives as well. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to deal with these mutas. They will get too high of a number, especially as he keeps adding on more and more right now. And the gas income with that 5th base is just going to be so sick.
Massive. It's going to be massive. And as I said, this is a great map for Mutalisk play. And this is why there's so many options as regards to where you can go to escape from things like Blink Stalkers. And now that the Phoenix count is gone, there is really no answer to Mutalisks that have managed to make their way out there. Well, and this may force Grubby to push out. He'll have to secure a 4th and maybe start to get really aggressive.
Let's have a look. There's 24 Mutalisks, and Rhett's going to go in again. Oh, this is going to do a lot of damage. Grubby wants to fight now, though. Instead of sitting back and getting Templar Archives and trying to go Archons, he's going to try to fight with Blink and with the amount of Stalkers and units he has right now. And to be honest, that's really, really strong, especially considering all the mutas are in his base once again, and a base race kind of scenario is happening here.
Yeah, and in a base race, Grubby will win, assuming that he can nail down all of the important tech and the important bases. And cannons now in the mineral line are starting to rip their way through these Mutalisks, but the Mutalisks are doing exactly the same thing to his probe line, and that's 1 base down. Grubby actually heading up to the top here with a small contingent as his main force moves forward and is able to pick off a couple of Infestors as well, and Rhett's lane count isn't going to help him here.
No, Grubby's in so much trouble right now. His army is about to get met up with all these units, and that is horrible for Grubby.
The fungal is massive. The mutas come in, and they're about to sweep in from the side. 1, 2, and 3 Colossus, and that is it for Grubby's army. The links might not be that useful while the Colossus are alive, but if they fall in 2 seconds, what is the point? Rhett crushes it completely. Grubby plummets to 91 supply.
Yeah, base races are so annoying as Protoss. They're so difficult to deal with because the mobility of the Mutalisks, they're just able to fly everywhere. You can be in a base race scenario, and then all of a sudden they're back fighting your main army, then they're back in your base again. They're so difficult to deal with, and Grubby's completely on the back foot right now, and Rhett may be looking to claim that 3rd place title here in the SHOUTcraft Invitational, despite having no bases later on.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get it, honestly, because there's no way to stop this. GG, ladies and gentlemen, and that is it. Rhett wins 3-1 and is your 3rd place champion for SHOUTcraft Invitational number 4. And that's why mutas are annoying on Terminus.
Yeah, mutas are so good, and in that base race scenario, so difficult, so difficult. I mean, if the mutas stayed there, then Grubby's going to have a decent time fighting the army, but then there's reinforcements, and it gets so difficult. GG. Mutas are good.
Mutas are good. Mutas are especially good on Terminus, and that it's really hard to handle that as Protoss. It really, really is.
Very smart with Ret. Infestors, stop air, force Colossus, go mutas. Very, very smart play there from Ret. But that opens us up now to the grand finals.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's going to be pretty good.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. It's going to be unbelievably good. 3-1. Ret takes it very nicely. If you want to show your appreciation for either of these players, you can do so. We have tip jars available over on SHOUTcraft.com. Money goes direct to them. We don't even touch it. It goes straight into their PayPal account. And if that goes down, which it frequently does, bit.ly/SCi4-tipjars. That's bit.ly/SCi4.tipjars to throw a couple of bucks in the direction of the players that have put on such fine entertainment for you today. But now,
definitely do so.
We're going to be setting up the finals, folks. We'll take a break while that is happening, of course. We need to wake Stefano, because apparently he is taking a nap. I believe he's probably back up by now. I said 2 hours will be how long he has, and I told him that about 2.5 hours ago. But if the Frenchman has overslept, he could be in an unfortunate position going into perhaps the battle of his life against Thorzane. And his win record against Thorzane has been pretty reasonable lately. But this is a best of 7. Thorzane's on fire in this tournament. What will happen? You better stay here to find out. We'll be right back.